Welcome back everyone. My name is Sandeep Patil and today we are discuss about the my favorite player. So my favorite player is Rohit Sharma. He is a cricketer. Uh, Rohit Sharma is my favorite just because of their struggle. So when he was 10 to 12 years old, he started his cricket career from the school, but they don't have a lot of opportunities and best coaches. That's why Rohit Sharma left their hometown and he shifted to the Mumbai at his uncle's home after he joined the school cricket academy, where he started his career as a leg break bowler. Then the coach give a chance to him to batting, and Rohit Sharma scored very well. So the coach, his school coach, decided to he can bat very well. So if he focus on a bat, so he will be improve their batting skill. And after that, the Rohit Sharma uh, make growing his career as a batsman as well as the leg spinner. So, in a many interviews, Rohit Sharma said that I am not a batsman. I started my career as a bowler, but time takes and it will changes happens in my life, and I am now he is a destructive batsman ever. Rohit Sharma, uh, Rohit Sharma birth date is a um, 13 April 1987. He is now 36 years approximately. So he is from Nagpur, Maharashtra. So that's why the Maharashtrian connection, you know that. Uh, so he likes me very well. Uh, After that, the Rohit Sharma debut part. The Rohit Sharma debut in a 2007 in a T20 World Cup tournament, where he play the role for a finisher at a 6 number position. In that whole tournament, the Rohit Sharma play very well, and the final in a final knock, 16 ball, 36 run with a four four saves and three maximums, that is sixes. So after that, the his debut on a ODI in a one day against the Ireland in a 2007 and after that he made his test debut in 2030 against the West Indies, and the debut was extremely brilliant because of Rohit Sharma made 177 runs in this match. This match was also special for because of the Sachin Tendulkar, god of cricket, decided to take a retirement from the all the formats. After that, Rohit Sharma, Dhoni decided in a 2013. Dhoni decided to Rohit Sharma can open with Shikhar Dhawan, and he changed his all the career just because of that role. After that, the Rohit Sharma never look forward because that time. After that, Rohit Sharma playing consistently again and again better cricket. So the uh, Rohit Sharma is only one batsman in the world who made three double centuries in a one day cricket, as well as uh, the only one in this entire planet who made the 4 centuries in T20 cricket. So overall centuries of the Rohit Sharma is 40 in a test, 29 in a one day and 4 in a T20. As well as the Rohit Sharma is now full captain of ODI, Test and T20 format, uh, and he is the only captain in IPL who won the maximum trophies. He won the 5 trophies in IPL. So he is a very destructive player. Uh, as well as the fastest 100 records on a Rohit Sharma's name. He scored 100 runs in just 34 balls, as well as the most sixes in a one day. That is 16 sixes in a just one match. He is a he is the only batsman till the 2020. He hit the 16 sixes, but after that Owen Oregon breaks his record. He hit the 17 sixes in a one match against Afghanistan. But the Rohit Sharma still the fit and a very destructive player just because of their batting. He he can decide to destroy the whole bowling lineup uh, of the against team. So I think he's the charm of the Indian cricket. He plays so nicely with the ineffectively. He hit a success and just hitting like a throw ball. So that's why he's my favorite player, and I think he's one of the best player. And right now he's a very good captain. He make a 4 whitewash against the others team. So that's why he is a complete batsman as well as he is a great human being because of outside cricket. He is a ambassador of the PETA, that is the Animal Welfare and Ethical Committee. So that's it. Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Sandeep Patil, and today we are discuss on the SIOMs. SIOM, that is the Council for International Organization of Medical Science. This was established by UNESCO and WHO. UNESCO stands for the United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization, and the SIOMS is oriented in a 1949. So basically, the SIOMs work in a working group. That is, SIOM working groups covers a wide range of the safety topics. That means they are consist of group of scientists, pharmaceutical industry, and regulatory authorities who work together and make guidelines for the various drug safety topics. So they consist of 10 working groups. That is the working group first, international reporting of ADRs. It is done by the SIOMS Form 1, where the suspect adverse drug report form is ultimately uh, when you report the suspected adverse reaction. It is done in the SIOMS form number 1. After that, the working group 2 international reporting of periodic drug safety update reports. It is indirectly relation with the PSUR, that is a periodic safety update report. So in a PSUR, we monitor the adverse drug reaction for the ultimate time, just like a 3 months. Every 3 months you have to report the ADRs, what types of ADRs occur in a drug, and the SIOM's main purpose is the safety of the drug. So that's why the ultimate relation between the SIOMs and PSUR. Working Group 3, guidelines for preparing core clinical safety information on a drug, including new proposal for investigation voucher. So they develop this research and make a new guideline for a clinical safety information, and after that uh, they investigated in a browser. After that, working group 4 uh, working group 4 is a benefit risk balance for a marketed drugs evaluating safety signal, where in a market, if any survey conduct on 100 or 1000 people, so it might be better result from the 1000 people, because of they give the different types of feedback on their drug. So from that you know the safety signals, and you can perform your drug for a long period. Current challenges in a working group 5, current challenges in a PV pragmatic approach. So you know that the PV has a different challenges from the different areas. So you know the ground level, you know the ground reality. Uh, so uh, you know the what are the challenges, and solve all the challenges. After that you will be run PV very smoothly. um, Working group 6, management of safety information from the clinical trials. All the information gathered from the clinical trials will be managed by the working group 6. Working group 7, development safety update reports. So in a clinical trials or a drug, after launches drug in the market, you have to produce the development safety update report and submit it to the SIOMs or the FDA. Working group 8, application of signal detection in a pharmacovigilance. If any case any drug shows the adverse effects, and in case one types many adverse drug effects shows by the drug, but the most of the uh, which type of adverse drug effect shown by the drug, which this is a priority uh, to solve that adverse reaction firstly, because of they shows their effect adverse effect on the human. Working group 9, practical consideration for a development and application of a toolkit for a medical product risk management. And finally the working group 10, that is the consideration of applying good meta-analysis practices in a clinical safety trial. So what is the meta-analysis? Meta-analysis is uh, a rechecking or a reanalysis. If any clinical trial conducted on a drug, but the FDA or the European Medicinal Agency, that is EMA, which are not satisfied by the result, So uh, they can told you to reconduct the some part of the clinical trial or a full part of the clinical trials. It may they give a duration of 6 months or 3 months, but it will be take more time as well. So that is the work 10 working groups. They covers all the safety monitoring and evaluating from the ground level. So that's the prime motive of the SIOMs. That's it. Thank you.